Are we good? We're good, Sean? Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. This is Isaac, guys. So you know who I am. You know who these people. I've talked to these guys so many times I'm not even going to introduce them because you guys know who they are. They're one of my favorite metal bands of the 805. I saw you guys, like 2-3 weeks ago? Yes. With the Bear at the 6. There was one of your bandmates that were missing when they tagged them in with the Bear. Well, she was there. She was in the spirit of the Bear. Yeah. I love it. The Sid Bear, yes. I love it. Let me just start off because we talked about this so many different times. Are you doing different stuff with the makeup, or is it because now are we still doing not the X's anymore? What's happening? Are we changing?
I hadn't finished my makeup job yet, and
this is very like stage 1.
Yeah. So Austin comes in. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do an interview?" And I was like, am I required? And like, is this okay? And then friendo behind the camera said, you look fine. I'm like, cool. Then I'll come as I am. Thank you. Happy to take part.
That's some talent right there. You see that? Right. That's like the fading. Like I like that. That's you could always tell someone's skill with the makeups. I thought that was my phone. I'm like, man, I have a great ringtone. What was that? It's like a riff was like that was awesome. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yes. Good thing we have a microphone. So how many times have you guys been to 6? Was that how many times? Like this? That was the first time?
That was our first time. Yeah. So it was kind of funny. I was literally waking up at the brisk hour of 10:30 a.m. and I saw on my phone like 5 messages like, "Hey, it was our buddies and I greater than he. They unfortunately had to drop from that show." And they're like, "Hey, would Disrupted be cool with filling in?" So I texted everyone like, "A show tonight can do." And everyone responded. Sid Bear was luckily able to play the show. Sydney was not. But yeah, we literally did not have. We were not rehearsed. We were not anything. We were not ready. We were just like, yeah, we can do the show. We showed up and it was so chaotic, but we still managed to pull it off. Yeah, it was fun though.
Yeah, I think it was since it was a new venue, we were working out kinks. I know there was like sound issues in the beginning, but after all those kinks got out, you guys sounded phenomenal. You always kick ass. And I hope you know that, right? You know that, right? You know you fucking put on a good show.
I mean, I hope that we do. Even if we don't, I hope that we do a good enough job of convincing people that we do for them to believe us.
Like, you bring it in, and then you see and then when you guys fucking do, I wish I had long hair. I wish I had Sean hair, at least, so I could fucking just get in there and fucking do it. And there was this guy there that had no hair. I think he had like 2 hairs or something, and he was doing it. It was fucking explain to me, when you guys see that, like, how does that, like, well, I don't know if you see it because you guys are probably doing the same thing, but if you ever catch a glimpse of, like, does that give you an extra, like, oomph, you know what I mean?
So it was funny. We played a show a couple weeks back. We're literally, I was setting up my stuff. I was turned around looking at the drummer being like, hey, are you all good? And I turn around, I see people like, holy fuck, okay. And then it's kind of funny. The second we start playing, all that like initial feeling of like, oh fuck, goes away, and it's like, oh yes, more like, because I see people going nuts. I see people wearing the disembodied bear head we just ripped off. I see people headbanging. I see people fucking just moshing. It very much feeds it, and yeah, we're always happy to see that.
You brought that up. Can you tell me, because we talked about this at the show. Tell me the instance with the kid and the bear. The kid and the bear and the stuffing.
Right. So we had the biggest possible size Costco bear. We found it on, I think, either Craigslist or Facebook Market for $60. And we brought it to a show that, honestly, not a lot of people went to. But it made it more special in a way. Because this little 10-year-old kid that wouldn't have been able to have access to this otherwise, like if more people were there, we ripped off the head of this thing. There was more fluff in just the head of this one bear than there's ever been in any full bear that we have ever decimated or done since. And so he got, we ripped off the head. I tossed it directly at him. I was like, this is yours. This is for you. Don't let anyone grab this. Like, I told him ahead of time, I'm like, I'm going to throw it at you. Don't let go. I told his mom too. I'm like, do not let him let go. And she was like, oh, I won't. And so he brought it home and he used it as his Halloween goodie bag.
You know what? When she's told me that, I'm thinking like, low key, these are like intestines that this kid's taking home. They're ripping the flesh out of this bear. And I'm thinking, all in my mind, I'm sadistic. I'm like, there's blood and guts in real life. This was a person. But I'm kind of dark like that anyway. Yes.
Kids tend to really, really love it. Like so they do have a fraction of a second of a horrified look on their face. At first they're like, oh no, because it's a bear. But then once they realize that no one is getting hurt, there's no real danger, and there's no pain getting involved, and they can play in the fluff, all bets are off. They completely change their entire outlook within like a fraction of a second. They're like, oh, and then they're like, I can play in this. And like the little kids start like throwing the fluff at each other and like throwing at me. And
you gotta think of it too. Like I've always wanted to dismember a bear. But then it's like no, because we'll get in trouble. But like now there's no concept. I'm like, wait a minute, because you're as a first shock, like no, you don't do that. The toys are animals, but it's no one's getting hurt, and it's like and it's fluff, like you said.
It's not an animal. It's not a real thing, which is kind of part of the whole point of the concept of we play it during toy, and the whole idea is like toys don't have feelings. If they get dismembered or forgotten about or whatever, that's okay. That's fine. But if you're like people, you can't treat people like toys. So it's kind of a visual representation. Like the toy, this is fine. Like we can fuck it up. We can tear it, whatever. It doesn't matter. But you can't do that to people. Do it to toys instead. Toys don't matter. Don't treat people like toys.
It's kind of funny too, because Valentine's Day is our favorite time of year. Because when people break up, where do you think their bears go? To us. And it's fun. We've now named all the bears after exes that were horrible. Yeah. So it's like, this is Ashley. Ashley's dead. That kind of thing.
I'm already envisioning like an album cover of just like stuffed heads and then like people's names on it.
And another thing about it is that so not every venue says yes, but so we only do the bear if we are typically the headliner, or if the venue and all the other bands say yes, because the fluff, it's not sticky, it doesn't stain anything, it's ridiculously easy to pick up. Plus, the moment that we're done with a show with a bear, like that second we start picking up the fluff, and then the whole audience copies us. It's like count to 30, the room is clean. Yeah, the room is clean, and then everyone's like, oh cool, yeah, it's all put away. Sometimes I've been like put off cleaning for just like 2 minutes because I want to get my stuff all arranged. I turn around, the fluff is gone. I'm like, okay.
I've had the privilege to see you guys. I don't know at the conception of the band, but very fresh, very new. You've done a lot of stuff with us. You've done the Ventura County Music Awards where you actually sing without the brrr on there. That was beautiful. You have a beautiful voice, and I think you already know that. Yes. Thank you, Sean. I'm gonna ask you, what do you like your journey, right? Like from just a couple years back, have you like kind of reflected back? Do you like, dude, this is crazy? Like the evolution of the band. Like what have you felt?
It's been a lot of like just individual growth, both personally and musically. Because back when we first started, for instance, like I was going through college, like music college. There was stuff I was learning in there I would have never have known before. So I started incorporating that into Disrupted. And then all of us, too, were all, like, looking into, like, what can we all do different? Like, Jack started looking up more scales. Jacob started really going through his rudiments. Hannah fucking, like, went deep into how the actual body works with growling and stuff like that. So it's almost been, like, Disrupted started as just, like, hey, let's get together and play sometime, to almost like it's a life project almost. Because we've all grown as people and as just musicians in general. Because we're married. Yeah. We look back at like old shows we played and how we used to sound to how we sound now, and then Sydney coming into the fold too. That changed a lot too. But just how we used to sound versus how we sound now, it's just tighter, more intricate, more musical. So yeah, we're very happy with where we're at right now, and yeah, what's coming is better.
I'm like honestly like I'm gonna sound like Tim for a minute, but like if I ever had anyone that I would put all my eggs in a basket, it would be you guys. Like for reals. Like the way you guys play, the way you guys look, the way you guys have a personality on stage, and then people just like, I don't know, I grab it. And again, I've never been really a big metal person in a sense where like I appreciate music styles, but when I listen to you guys and then the people around that would come around like Bomeg and all that other stuff, I'm like, man, I love this shit. Punk metal is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, metal music is awesome. There you go.
alternative music in general. It is so.
It's an inside joke for the show. Yeah, sorry. There's a joke in the show that I say punk and metal technically the same, but I just do that to piss Stefan off.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and it's one of the most freeing types of music, and so many people are the same way. It's something that they don't realize that they like until they see it live. Live, or until they're deep in it, until they're immersed in the kind of situation where everyone around them is just completely uninhibited, enjoying themselves, just getting completely back into contact with like that primal inner self. You ever see a mosh pit? It goes back literally to caveman dancing around a fire. Yeah, and so we never lost that. We never lost that. It's so like you see people stop becoming individuals and become like one.
And then like people help, people down, pick you up. It don't matter if you're a girl, guy. There is literally, you're just a human, and it's a primitive interaction, and you're just feeling the music, and you're just in it. It's awesome.
So much. I was just amazed. Okay, my very first mosh pit, that wasn't just a local show. It was an outdoor festival. It was the last Mayhem Fest, and I don't remember what band was playing at the time. I think it was Thy Art Is Murder. It was No. It was Thy Art Is Murder. It was before Whitechapel. I was in like one of the smaller mosh pits. It was kind of in the beginning to middle of the day. I was, skipping around, la da 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 da. That was when I was about like 30 pounds lighter, and it was the kind of thing where I was just.
Hair?
What? I was just. Look, I'm deceptive.
13?
I'm deceptive. Okay. Anyway, it was.
No, that's what I'm saying. From where? Like, you mean muscle?
Anyway, so I was significantly lighter. There was a lot, like, I was skipping around, literally skipping, like, la 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 la, and because I didn't know what moshing was really. I knew how it worked, I knew how it looked and stuff, but I had never really done it, so I was only one out of, like, maybe 15 people in this mosh pit. Not a big mosh pit. There's a lot of space. And I am about to eat shit. Like, I trip on my feet, and I'm like, oh! So I'm about to, like, face first into the dirt and into the grass. I don't even hit the ground. I feel 3 humongous pairs of man paw hands just shoo, like I'm about to land in the whoo, and then they pick me up, but they're so used to picking up men their own size. I am airborne for like a solid like second, maybe 2 seconds. So I'm like, and then and I'm just flying. I'm like, oh, I literally hit the ground running, and I continue making my own little dust cloud with everyone else. I'm like, this is the best day of my life. It was so great. It was one of the best. It was the best introduction to just how great mosh pits can go. Like, real ones, not like we're fighting invisible ninjas, where it's everyone just going in a circle. Like there's a decorum. Everyone agrees. Yeah. It's like everyone knows how it's supposed to go. Everyone's going in a circle. It's all elbows. It's all like, shoulders. It's all nudging. It's no throwing fists. It's no throwing kicks. It's just, let's go in a circle. Everyone knows how this goes. It's piranhas. It's piranha. You want to be piranhas. You don't want to be baboons. Yeah. Save that for the people on stage. Baboons on stage, piranhas in the pit. That's a shirt now.
There you go. I can't hype this band up. This is honestly one of my favorite bands locally here, and you guys are all local, and you guys we always try to hook you guys up. And I mean, look at did you see his tattoo?
That's his first one. That's his first tattoo.
He loves the Misfits. He loves the Misfits. I love the Misfits too, but I won't get into it. You guys, thank you so much. Where can we find you? What's going on? What do you guys have going next? Where are you guys next time at the 6th? What's going on?
Yeah, we're playing the 6th on the 10th, was it? Yeah, playing the 6th on the 10th with Bone Maggot and And then we are currently, so we released a single recently. You can find that at all streaming services. It's called Traitor, and it's the last song we're playing tonight. It has the best breakdown we have, so I hope you like it. We just finished recording our next single. It's going to mastering right now. That'll be out soon. And then those two are kind of standalone, and then there will be a full album coming within the near future. We promise. Yeah. And yeah, that's that's everything. Come check us out, please. We need human interaction.
Yeah, you guys will be doing a disservice if you don't get to see them live because they put on a great show.
Our drummer, this is canon in the band lore. So our drummer is a zombie, and he has to feed off of the energy of the audience. So if there is no audience there's no energy for him to feed off of, and he's going to turn into a flop ragdoll of a zombie on stage. So please, for the sake of our drummer, show up.
I do remember you guys did that. It's awesome. This is part of what you guys do as a performance. It's so good. It's interactive. Guys, check them out. Thank you so much for socials.
Disrupted Euphoria on the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the YouTube. Yeah, all that good stuff. And TikTok. Hannah has successfully broken us into TikTok.
All right, thank you, China. Thank you guys so much. All right, we'll see you guys.
But before we go, thank you to Hammer for opening up such a banging fucking night. Yes, thank you to Alpha. And up next, do not leave, or you will see the one and the only Bone Maggot! How in the fuck? Yeah. So, our next show is a little extra dramatic, if you can believe it. It's about Caligula.